Okay, here's another book for kindergarten, first and second graders. This is called The Warrior Maiden. This was a book we used last year for a social studies unit. It's a really good book. And again, second graders, you have this one in your at-home packets, so you can practice reading it. And during our FaceTime, you'll get to read it to me. The Warrior Maiden. Listen to the story of Hui-ai, the brave warrior maiden who saved her people from death. Chapter 1, Shadows in the Distance. The sun rises hot and red over the Hopi Pueblo. Hui-ai runs to the window and helps her father lower a ladder. He is already searching the desert for danger. Be careful, Father warns her. Watch for Apache raiders. Protect the corn. Protect our people. Pull up the ladders till we return. The men and boys climb down the ladders and walk into the morning. Hui-ai and her sisters help Mother shuck corn. As they work, Mother talks about the ways of the Hopi. We are peaceful people. Even our name means peace. We would rather farm than fight. But we live in a harsh, dry land. Food is scarce. The Apache want our corn. If they attack, we must be brave and strong. And if we must fight to win. The men and boys walk miles and miles across the desert. They walk toward a bright green cloud at the edge of the sky. The bright green cloud is the growing crops: corn, beans, cotton, squash. The boys kick some stones down the mesa to remind the gods to send rain. The men use long sticks to plant and weed. It's hard work. The small boys flap their arms and make loud sounds to scare the birds away. No one sees the shadows of the raiders creeping toward the Pueblo. Chapter 2. Hui-ai keeps watch as Mother grinds corn. Elder sister mixes it with water. Younger sister helps. Hui-ai builds the fire so she can make bread. Every day she tries to bake without burning her fingers. Ouch! She burns them again on the red-hot stone. Hui-ai sits to rest, but keeps watch the whole time. The baking bread smells sweet and good. Mother washes Hui-ai's hair in cactus suds. It is shiny and black as a crow's wing. Mother curls one side in a butterfly shape and pins it in place. But before Mother can pin up the rest, Hui sees a shadow. It moves. She sees another shadow and another. She hears a strange bird call. Is it a bird or a man? Hui peers across the desert. She sees a flash of red. She remembers her father's words. Be careful. Watch for Apache raiders. Protect the corn. Protect our people. Hui's heart beats like a drum. 5, 10, 15. Hui tries to count the shadows, but there are too many. Look, Mother, she whispers. Apache, the raiders are coming. Mother scoops up the baby and holds him close. Younger sister hides in Mother's skirt, afraid to blink. They huddle in the house, afraid to breathe. The bird that is not a real bird screams again. Hui runs and warns the others, the other mothers, the girls, and the men too old to farm or fight. What shall we do? Asks elder sister. Let's run away, cries younger sister. We must hide, warns Mother, or they will kill us and take our food. Hush, be quiet, hide, everyone cries, but the Apache shadows creep closer. Hiding will not help. Someone must think of a plan. Chapter 3. Hui stands still and thinks. Her heart gallops like a frightened pony, but she doesn't feel helpless. She has a plan. Guard the ladders, she commands. Stay out of sight, but make a lot of noise. Get drums and beat them. Get rattles and shake them. Make them think our pueblo is full of warriors. It will give me time to run for help. Hui is so strong, so sure that they all take heart. Everyone does something. Some tend the babies. Some hide the corn. The rest make the songs and sounds of war. Hui slips along the cliff, hiding in the deep blue shade. It covers her like the night. The Apache creep closer. They hear the banging and rattling. They hear the sounds and songs of war. They stop short. They crouch and hide. Maybe they think the pueblo is full of warriors, Hui says to herself, while their eyes search the pueblo. Hui slips past. Her feet pound softly against the hot ground. Her hair flies like a black crow's wing. Her heart pounds louder than drums. Her breath burns in her chest. But Hui does not look back. She runs swift and strong. She feels her feet against the ground and her head against the sky. Hu-ai-ai runs and runs. The green cloud of corn is still far away. Her father and brothers look tiny, like little dolls. Hu-ai-ai runs harder. Now she can see the men planting corn. Now she sees her youngest brother flapping his arms to scare the crows. Now she sees the weapons ready on the ground. Hu-ai-ai calls out her warning. Come quickly, hurry! Apache raiders are attacking our pueblo. We are trying to scare them away. Hurry! Hu-ai-ai's father picks up his weapons. He nods proudly at his daughter. Hu-ai-ai runs with the men and boys back through the desert, back to the pueblo, under the blood-red sun. They are just in time. The raiders are climbing on one another's shoulders, climbing the cliffs, climbing the walls. Then they see Hu-ai-ai with the men and boys. The raiders see weapons flash red in the sun. They are frightened. They know they are outnumbered. They turn and run. The people are safe. Chapter 4. To this day the Hopi walk in peace. The men weave cloth, the women weave baskets. Men and boys plant and pick corn, the bread of life. And each year they celebrate the harvest. Each person gets an ear of corn. Each child gets a gift, and they all sing and dance in praise of Hu-ai-ai, the brave and clever Warrior Maiden. Here's a picture. The Warrior Maiden.